It's 3 in the morning and you're awake. Not groggy, not half dreaming. Fully, frustratingly awake, staring at a ceiling that refuses to explain itself. Your phone glows beside the bed. Underneath the panic of needing 8 straight hours, something quieter stirs. You check the clock, you do the math, you don't fall back asleep. But here's what nobody tells you. This might not be a malfunction at all. For most of human history, waking at night wasn't a problem. It was Tuesday. Before electric light, nights looked different. No streetlights, no screens, just a dying fire and a sky doing all the lighting that existed. Sleep didn't look like one unbroken block. It looked like two. The historian A. Roger Ekirch spent years reading pre-industrial diaries and court records. He found that before artificial light spread, people across Europe routinely slept in two segments, called first sleep and second sleep, with an hour or two of quiet wakefulness in between. They prayed, they talked, nobody panicked. Why would the body build in an interruption like that on purpose? A researcher named Thomas Ware tested it directly. In the early 1990s, he put volunteers in 14 hours of darkness a night, no artificial light, for weeks. Within weeks, without being told to, their sleep split in two, with a calm waking window in the middle of the night. Their bodies rediscovered a rhythm modern light had quietly erased. So the segmented night wasn't just an old habit. It may be closer to a default setting, one electric light switched off so completely that most of us forgot it ever existed. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If lying awake at 3 a.m. is ancient and ordinary, why does it feel like falling apart? Partly, it's the company you're keeping in that hour. A person in 1500 woke into darkness and maybe a partner breathing beside them. You wake into a smartphone and the very modern terror of being told you should be asleep. The interruption hasn't changed. The meaning layered onto it has changed completely. Not every culture slept this way either. The neuroscientist Jerome Siegel studied modern hunter-gatherer groups like the Hadza in Tanzania, who sleep in one continuous block instead of two. Warmer regions, with shorter and steadier nights, seem to favor a single sleep. Human sleep was never one fixed program. It was a flexible response to light, temperature, and season, something your body still quietly negotiates, whether you notice or not. What hasn't changed is this. Waking in the night was never inherently a crisis. It was information long before anyone needed a word like insomnia to describe it. You wake now, and the first thing your brain reaches for is a verdict. Something is wrong with me. There's no fire to tend, no ritual built around this hour. Just a glowing screen and a culture that told you sleep should be one smooth, unbroken line. Nobody ever handed you a Karch diaries or Ware's lab notes. Nobody told you this moment once had a name. That doesn't mean every wake up is harmless. Chronic insomnia is real and deserves real treatment. But the brief kind, the 20 minutes with no clear cause that ends on its own, may be less of a malfunction and more of an echo, a signal from a body that still remembers how to do this in two parts. There's relief hiding in that idea, if you let it land. The shame isn't ancient, it's recent. It arrived after gas lamps, after electric bulbs, after a culture decided sleep should look like one unbroken line and anything else meant something was wrong. Your ancestors didn't inherit that shame. They inherited darkness, fire, and a body that adjusted, sometimes resting in one piece, sometimes in two. So the next time you're staring at a ceiling at 3 a.m., maybe the question isn't what's wrong with you. What if you're not awake too early? What if you simply arrived right on time for the second half of a night nobody ever told you that you still have?